What's going on, guys? It's Ezra here, and welcome back to another renowned Destiny Legendary Weapons video. If you missed it last time, we checked out auto rifles, and this time we are checking out one of the most popular weapon types in the game, pulse rifles. Everybody loves pulse rifles. These things are super duper popular. This is a personal favorite of mine, the Nurgle, which is super broken because they removed a bunch of content from the game. This thing was from the Red War, and I actually used it back during the beta, and I have a big fondness for it. But this isn't on the list, so let's just get the frick rid of it. It's gone now. Now, pulse rifles are super popular when it comes to the game. I'm not gonna lie, you could basically throw like any pulse rifle in front of anybody, and there'd probably be like a million people who are like, "Oh my gosh, I love that pulse rifle. It's my favorite." And that's gonna make it a little difficult to really discern what is the best or what even belonged on the list. So If your favorite one isn't on the list, this is just the stuff that I think is the most renowned, so the most community impacting weapons. So, yeah. But let's get to the honorable mentions. Now, there's so many pulse rifles that could be on this list. I'm just gonna kind of run through them real fast. So the first weapon we gotta look at is the Waltz. This was I believe the Future Warcult pulse rifle that you can get during the Rise of Iron expansion. Pretty solid back during Rise of Iron, pretty cool. Next up is Sacred Providence. This was the raid pulse rifle for Garden of Salvation. You can still get this. What made it special is it was the only 4-burst aggressive frame pulse rifle you can get for the longest time because they sunset all the old ones. There's Nightshade, which was the original Vanguard pulse rifle. It used to be kinetic, now it's strand. I actually got lucky enough to get a glitched one that has not one, but 2 moving target perks. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool, right? Everybody loves moving target. And then there's Battle Scar, which was also released during the original Red War. This shader I have on it makes it look like what it originally did, but they changed it to make it look more wooden. There's also Parthian Shot, which I forgot to record footage for, but it was also, I think, the Vanguard pulse rifle for Rise of Iron. But yeah, there's tons of pulse rifles in this game that could be on this list, so these are just a handful of ones. Alright, the first weapon we have to talk about is Hopscotch Pilgrim. I don't remember exactly when this was released. It says right here that it was released during the Rise of Iron expansion, but this is a re-release of the original one. I want to say it was released during the House of Wolves. Either way, Hopscotch Pilgrim was a really good pulse rifle to use in Destiny 1 for PvP. It had a lot of really solid perks. It was used by a ton of people. I remember dying by this thing a lot when I was younger. It was really good, had some really nice perk options. This one is literally just full auto and head seeker, which, I mean, full auto is completely useless in Destiny 2, and head seeker is actually decent in Destiny 2, but not in Destiny 1. So, not the greatest role, but it is a very good weapon, and anybody who played PvP at all in Destiny 1 definitely has ran into one of these before, or definitely did. I'm not gonna lie, I tried forever to get into a game so I could record footage for this, and I'm not even kidding you, there's like nobody playing PvP Destiny 1 right now, which makes sense, everyone's playing Destiny 2. But yeah, Hopscotch Pilgrim is a really good PvP pulse rifle. I'm assuming you can still get it from PvP, so if you want to get your hands on one, good luck. Good luck in getting into a game. Now, the next weapon from Destiny 1 we have to talk about is, of course, Hawksaw. This was the Crucible pulse rifle released during the Taken King. This was back when they added all the Foundry weapons to the game, and it was super awesome. And this thing was, and still is, a beast in Destiny 1. I think rapid fire frame pulse rifles are like the best pulse rifle to use in PvP, and this thing was just the GOAT. I don't think there's an easy way to get this nowadays, unless you're on Xbox, because I know Xbox has a way to go onto the Legacy servers, so you can use your Xbox Series X to go onto the 360 servers. I don't know how that works. If you're on PlayStation, then I can only hope that you can maybe get this from Crucible drops. Either way, this thing is awesome. I honestly am a huge fan of the Suros weapons in general, specifically because they have the SPO-26 front and SPO-27 sights, which are my favorite sights. I don't know which one I'm using on this video right now, but yeah, this thing is super good. Last time I played Destiny 1 PvP, I was literally using Hawksaw to just annihilate everybody. I can't speak English today. It's a really good weapon. Obviously, a lot of the weapons in Destiny 1 have the same models. The only difference is like the shader. This one's just green. There's probably like a bajillion other guns in the game that look just like it, but aren't green. Either way, this thing is really good. I'm actually so surprised they never brought it to Destiny 2. They brought freaking Palindrome to Destiny 2. And like, both of the weapons fall into the same category as just being a good weapon that you can purchase from our site. But they brought back the Palindrome and not the Hawksaw. Disappointing. Either way, this weapon is super awesome and one I will always cherish in my vault. Now, the next weapon we have to talk about is, of course, the Grasp of Malok. Now, I know what you're thinking. No, this is not Grasp of Malok. This is actually Oversoul Edict. I don't have a Grasp of Malok. I tried really hard to get one, okay? I just could not get the strike to even show up in like the last week of me playing. So here's some gameplay of me playing with the Peace of Mind, which is one of my personal favorite pulse rifles. They're both like the high RPM pulses, so just pretend like this is Grasp of Malok. Grasp of Malok was a super good gun in Destiny 1. You could get it from obviously the Will of Crota strike, going and killing Omnigul. It just would melt in PvP. It was basically just like the Hawksaw. I think it maybe had slightly better stats. I don't know, I never got one. But if you wanted to like not get eviscerated in PvP back in the day, back in old 2015, 2016, you either had to get a Hawksaw or you had to grind for the Grasp of Malok. And it's way harder. It was way harder to get it back then, because nowadays we have skeleton keys and you can just open the chest up and get the strike gear. But back then you just had to get lucky. But yeah, this weapon is super good. Literally one of the best PvP weapons, probably still to this day in Destiny 1, and it probably would be in Destiny 2. If you want to use something similar to it, just use Oversoul Edict. They're the same archetype of pulse rifle, the rapid fire frame, so you can probably get a roll that would be something similar. But yeah, really good weapon. Let's go to the next one. Now, it wouldn't be right if we didn't talk about the Stranger's Rifle, aka Elsie's Rifle. This is the weapon that you would originally get in Destiny 1 for beating the campaign. And as a fun fact, it was originally a rare weapon, which honestly, I don't even know what they were thinking with that. But yeah, for completing the campaign in Destiny 1, you were given a rare grade weapon, which is very different for Destiny 2. In Destiny 2, you get like an exotic, I think, which was way harder to get when the game first came out. Either way, this weapon obviously has a very unique design. Well, for the most part, it gets reused all the time. I think there's like 4 other weapons besides the Stranger's Rifle that use the same look, including No Time to Explain. But it is such an awesome gun. It used to be a real big favorite of mine back in Destiny 1. It's great for PvP. This one is really good too. And it's just a super awesome weapon. I mean, it's literally one of the first, like, quest... I want to call it a quest. It's more of the first... It's the first campaign reward you ever get in the entirety of the series. So, yeah, super awesome. Love this weapon. I had to bring it up. Next up on the chopping block is Mite Retrograde. This is actually, I think, the most recent weapon to get added to, like, hit the community hard. Mite Retrograde is, for starters, the very first rocket pulse rifle to ever get added to the game. It was added back in Edge of Fate, I believe, and it was part of the Pinnacle weapon selection. And this thing was basically the most overpowered weapon in the game. All of the rocket pulses were, like, stupidly strong up until the final update. And yeah, this thing was super duper good. I actually got a god roll on my very first one, having rewind rounds and bait and switch. But yeah, this thing is super duper good. Literally one of the best weapons you can get on. Probably still now. Like, I would actually still highly recommend you get one of these. I think the only way you can get it is from the Tenet of Bravery, I believe. There's like a whole bunch of engrams it has for old loot, which I wish they had just added to the actual overhaul blaggity schmaggity. I wish they had just added all that loot to like the world loot pool or something instead of just throwing it in there so we could actually earn it instead of it just being like dumping legendary marks. Either way, Mite Retrograde is really, really good, and I would highly recommend you get your hands on one. Next up is Blast Furnace. This is probably one of the best pulse rifles to ever exist. I mean, this thing is so good. It's decent for PvE or PvP, but it is the GOAT in PvP. It was originally released in Season of the Forge, aka Black Armory, which was right after Forsaken, so like late 2018. And oh, it was so good. They were releasing so many aggressive frame pulse rifles back then, and I think aggressive frames are the best pulse rifle to use in PvP. That's just my opinion, and this thing was just so good. The only thing I don't even like about it now is the fact that they stuck like the worst sight on it. There used to be actual sight options. Now we just have barrel options. They could have given it a better sight. Either way, this thing is just mwah. Beautiful, chef's kiss, amazing, it's gorgeous. The Black Army weapons look great. If you want to get your hands on one of these, it actually drops from multiple sources. You can get it from both Onslaught and from Arena Ops activities, which is really cool. It is just such a good weapon. You got it. Go get one right now. Stop watching it. If you don't have one, if you're watching this video, go get one right now, okay? Literally one of the greatest weapons of all time. Next up is the GOAT of Trials of Osiris, the Messenger. I'm pretty sure this weapon was either like 1-to-1 in Destiny 1, or this one that we have in Destiny 2 is based off of the one from Destiny 1. Either way, the Messenger is a very good weapon. It's part of the high impact frame pulse rifles, which are capable of 2-tapping Guardians in PvP if you land all your headshots. They do fire a little slower though, but this thing was so good. It was a monster when it was first added to the game, especially because it could roll with Desperado, which Desperado got like a nerf, I don't know when, but originally it used to take it from a high impact, like super slow firing pulse, to a rapid fire pulse. It would shoot so fast, and it kept its damage. It did the same amount of damage still. So you would just annihilate people so fast, and it was so OP. I'm pretty sure that's the reason why the perk got nerfed. It still increases your rate of fire, but just not as much as it used to. I mean, it's still a nice thing to have. I just don't think it's as worth it. Either way, this weapon is very solid. I'm lucky to even have one. I actually went and played Trials like last weekend for the first time ever. I've never touched Trials before. Had so much fun. Trials is infinitely better than Control. Control makes me want to kill myself. Holy moly, I absolutely hate Control. I want to play more Trials right now, in fact. It's a great gun. Go play Trials and get this gun right now. Now, this next weapon we have to talk about is truly a special one, which is Redrix Claymore and Redrix Broadsword. They're basically just the same weapons. The Broadsword is just the randomly rolled version of the Claymore. What made this weapon so special was the fact that you could only get the Claymore from hitting a certain rank within competitive during Season 3. So that was like Warmind. I think it was like Ascendant 3 or something, which isn't even how the current rank system works anymore. Only 8,000 people, if I remember correctly, got this gun. It was like I think it is still to this day one of the rarest weapons in the game, not including the Fate of All Fools, which is owned by like one person in Destiny 1. Such a rare weapon. There's even less people who got the actual like ornament for it, which I think you had to like hit the max rank or something crazy. I don't know. I grinded forever trying to get this thing in Forsaken. They re-released it with a quest, so you didn't have to like get a super high rank in ranked. But honestly, I think that would have been easier because the quest had so many steps. There was so much stuff you had to do. I'm not even kidding when I say this. By the time I had Redrix Broadsword, I also had like all the other Crucible like pinnacle weapons at that point because I just got them naturally from playing as I grinded for the Broadsword. This thing was so good. Also, I haven't said it yet, but this was the original weapon that had Desperado. This thing was the original Desperado King. It was so good. It's not as good now because they nerfed the perk, but it's still a really cool gun. I love the design of this thing as well. It's obviously just a Destiny 1 pulse, but I love the style of Destiny 1, like weapons in general. They're so cool and unique, and this one is just, it just screams that Destiny 1 vibe. I love it so much. I also have the curated roll still. You can't even get this version of it anymore, which is nice. I don't know what role they have in collections, unless it is the curated one, not collections. The thing in the tower where you buy all the old guns that you can't get normally. Either way, this weapon is super awesome. I actually wish they had brought this back with the old quest, because that would have given so many people like a reason to go play competitive or PvP in general. But yeah, I love the Broadsword and I guess the Claymore too, since they're the same thing. Next up is Bygones. This was the original pulse rifle that was released for Gambit back in Forsaken. This thing is really good. I remember this thing being all over the place back in PvP for Forsaken. I swear, if anybody was using a pulse rifle, they were using the Bygones. This thing was such a solid weapon. It was, I don't think it did anything special. I think it just had really good stats, and it was just built well, you know? It's like a Toyota. They're not really super special. They're not doing nothing, but they're solid and reliable. They're gonna last you, and that's how the Bygones was. This thing is just a super reliable weapon. I mean, I think the new ones probably have some crazier perks, but the original one wasn't anything super crazy. The one I'm using in this was from like episode Heresy, I think. Either way, the weapon is super good. I'm pretty sure there's tiered versions, so if you want one of these, you can go play Gambit for one. But yeah, super, super good for PvP. Now, the last weapon we have to talk about is, of course, the BXR-55 Battler. This weapon was released back during the 30th anniversary. It's obviously based off of the burst rifle. I think that's what it's called, the burst rifle from Halo. The design is super unique because of that. It also has the most incredible sight in the game. And the role that I'm actually using in this footage isn't even one you can get anymore. It's got a snapshot and rangefinder, which is it also shows the enhanced weapon mods, even though this thing can't be enhanced, which I thought was funny. This thing is so good. It's a 450, which is my favorite type of pulse rifle in the game, and it's insane stats. It's so good. I literally get a Wii ran in the footage. That's how good this thing is. This thing is such a good weapon. I honestly wish they had like made these weapons like tiered. Technically, you can craft them and then turn them into tiered weapons, which is kind of the same, but like, it's such a good gun. There's even like a alternate version. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like the competitive one for PvP. It's like a stasis, so you can use it in the primary slot or the kinetic slot instead of the energy slot. They're such good guns. This is literally, it's so good. It is such a good PvP weapon. I think it has some solid PvE perks. Either way, super awesome. It also has, I almost forgot to talk about it, it has its own unique perk, which I think is called blunt execution rounds. Basically, it makes it so when you punch somebody, your next burst of the pulse does like a ton more damage. So you can punch somebody and then shoot them and then they're dead, which is supposed to be a reference to BXR, which you would do in Halo. You press B, which I believe is the punch, X jump, and then R is shoot. So punch, jump, shoot, they die. At least presumably. I don't know. I didn't grow up with an Xbox. But yeah, literally such a great gun. It's absolutely worth it going and grinding out the patterns for this and creating a craftable one. So good. Anyways, guys, that was my video for what I consider to be the most renowned pulse rifles in Destiny's history. This one was actually really difficult to make because I feel like pulse rifles are so popular. There's so many different types and everybody loves different ones. There's obviously the ones that like tons of people used in PvP, like the Hopscotch Pilgrim and Hawksaw, but there's like also so many like niche weapons like the Nurgle. I loved the Nurgle. It was one of my favorite weapons to use in Year 1 Crucible. I loved using it in the beta, but like who's really out here talking about the Nurgle? But either way, like you could throw any pulse rifle in the entirety of Destiny onto this list as an honorable mention, and tons of people would be happy about it. We could basically just make honorable mentions to the rest of the pulse rifles. It's just so difficult to pick them out. So I hope you guys enjoyed my picks for the top 10 most renowned pulse rifles. These are always a lot of fun to make. I love going into PvP. I actually went into competitive this time because I'm not gonna lie, playing Control is making me want to pull my hair out. I just get the most smooth brain teammates every time. They cannot capture the zones, nor can they get kills. I swear, every game I'm at the top of the leaderboard with like 10 zone captures, and everyone else has like 1 or 2. So I stepped into competitive, and oh my gosh, I had infinitely more fun. Either way, love making these. The next one I'm going to do is most likely going to be scout rifles, and then we'll go to hit up some maybe other types of weapons, maybe step away from primaries for a little bit. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below what your favorite pulse rifles are, because there's so many that everybody loves. And I love reading your guys' comments, because it's always cool to see, everyone's favorite weapons. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. So, peace.